We love when guys get on a plane and come to our social events and meet all of these incredibly beautiful, fantastic, interesting women. We love that. We live for that. It's what we do. It's what we're, the most proud of. Lots of couples have met each other. Couples have gotten married, families have been started. It's a true labor of love, guys. What can I say? But you've got questions around that, obviously, and it's natural to have questions around it. So we'll answer some of them on our Monday night webcasts like this, but it's great to get out, get a free seminar, ask a ton of questions, meet other guys like you who want to travel, some guys like you who have traveled. Talk to John and Tanya, the architects of our business. In 1994, John and his partner started a foreign affair. Can you imagine? I mean, it's phenomenal. It really is. That we've been doing what we do for so long. So you have a chance in Boston and Montreal. Those of you guys up in Montreal, we've been aiming to get there for a long time, right? So this weekend, Boston and Montreal, Saturday and Sunday, you saw that information. And then we're going to be here in Phoenix at our corporate headquarters on the 27th with another great seminar. All of these are on Saturday or Sunday from 11 to 3, guys. So just check the schedule at loveme.com and make a reservation for the one that works best for you. Las Vegas, guys, Las Vegas, you're on deck, October 28th. The end of the month, and then Seattle on November 3rd, and I believe Portland on November 4th, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a lot coming up, guys. We're going to be out in Florida. We're going to be in Albuquerque. We're going to be down in Texas. We're going to be all over the place for you guys. San Jose, California, you too are on the radar. So we have a lot of great places we're going to be visiting between now and the end of the year. Look for the seminar that's closest to you, and please make an RSVP, bud@loveme.com. By making your RSVP, I make sure that we save you a seat so you're not standing in the back. And you get a great seat at a great seminar. We'll throw in lunch. It's a highly unique opportunity, guys. It's a very, very unique event to learn all about the realities around what you're watching right now, which is this wonderful process of meeting all these very, very beautiful women and how you can participate in that. So again, guys, Monday night is when we answer your questions about meeting women from Thailand, the Philippines, China, Ukraine, Colombia, Costa Rica, Peru, Russia, etc. And this is where you ask your questions by clicking the green box above me. Text me your question, and I'll answer it for you. I'm going to answer a bunch of them right now. And then we're going to jump into a topic that I've got for you tonight, which is going to talk about things you can do on your first date to ensure you get a second date. Because it's not a given that your date is always going to result in a second date. But when you're in front of a girl and you really like her and you feel there's strong chemistry and attraction, you want that first date to be a smashing success, right? You want to do well. You want to leave the right impressions, not the wrong ones. And you want to make sure that you're going to get that second date, right? Because second dates, third dates, when things really develop, and people truly begin to, they begin to feel that feeling of love taking root. All right, so let's answer a few of your questions up front. Again, guys, my name is Bud. Let's do this, all right? Click the green box above me. Send me your questions. David says, I'd like to see footage from Thailand romance tours. I'm thinking of going there next year. Yep, right on, David. We probably have some we can throw up there for you in a little bit. So keep watching for that. Guys, when you're at loveme.com, there are a number of things that you should see right away. At loveme.com, if you go over on the top of that right menu, we've got our social media icons. See where I am over here? If you click YouTube, it's going to take you to our YouTube channel. We have a ton of stuff for you. We've got video from Thailand, China, everywhere we go. Great, great video resource for you. A lot of our webcasts are archived there as well. A lot of our longer videos are broken up into very digestible segments, courtesy of Kirk, the whiz who's behind the scenes doing everything for us. There's great stuff here, guys. So you definitely want to check that out. If there's a particular kind of video that you're looking for, I bet you'll find it there. And then, of course, keep in mind our seminar schedule's right over here, right? So you check out the seminar schedule, find the one that works best for you, make an RSVP, call us up, or write to me, bud@loveme.com. Say, hey, I'm coming to the Phoenix one on October 27th or whatever. I'll be in Albuquerque on December 8th, and make your RSVP so we can make sure you're accommodated, okay? Right on. John says, how far in advance of the Ukrainian socials are men given in order to know their translator assistance and develop some sort of game plan? Also, as someone who could see themselves potentially falling in love with their translator and becoming distracted from meeting other girls, would I be able to pair up with a married or unavailable translator to avoid this? Well, first of all, John, you definitely don't need to be paired up with a married translator in order to avoid falling in love with your translator. I mean, we're going to have you out in front of women. You're going to be meeting and dating, definitely, and your translator will be very, very helpful in that regard. But quite frankly, if you really wanted a married translator, just to avoid any kind of awkward temptation. That's probably not a hard thing to arrange. And as far as talking to the translators in advance, you're not going to talk to the translators in advance to develop a sort of game plan. We will be talking to you to help you develop a game plan. I will be talking to you if you're going to Ukraine specifically. We're going to talk a lot. I'll do a conference call with everybody who does our tour. I've got an agenda with a great amount of information, and we've got videos and all kinds of great information for you. So you don't necessarily need a game plan to work specifically with your translator. We'll assign you a translator, but it's not like we assign you a translator months in advance, right? I'm probably going to assign you a translator from our pool of great translators a couple of days in advance. We'll just say, okay, here guys are our tour clients, you're the translators, let's assign them this way, okay? This is yours, this is yours, this is yours. Go get them, girls, and our girls will definitely be ready to do a good job for you. You don't really need a game plan to go into the socials, guys. What you need is just to be able to relax and trust the translator and go and meet the women who are in front of you. And we'll definitely have you coached and ready. So in November, when we do, for example, the November Thanksgiving tour, which is going to be in Ukraine, Kiev and Kharkov are the two cities we'll be visiting. We will be doing a very high-level coaching session on Friday to just help guys get introduced to the women in a comfortable manner. So we're going to talk a lot about personal dynamics and how to leave a good impression, how to introduce yourself to a beautiful girl without feeling awkward, how to project confidence, how to get what you want from that conversation, how to culminate your introduction to a date when you want to date. And we're going to give you really good specific tips so we'll have you good and ready for that social environment when the time comes. Charles says, wanted to visit Mariupol, but the airport there is closed. I guess we will stick to my original plan and visit Odessa. Well, Odessa's a fine place to go, Charles. You probably could visit Mariupol, but I don't know, Charles, if that's such a good idea. I mean, Mariupol is about a 7-hour drive from Odessa. It's a small, small city. There's not much going on there. But, you know, we can talk about that. You should probably give me a call and let me know what your interests are in Mariupol, and I can advise you properly. So just reach out to me, okay? Dennis says, are you ever going to expand to other countries? Dennis, are you kidding me? Dude, 8 freaking countries is a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? We've practically taken over the whole entire world. I don't know, Dennis. We've been doing it for almost 25 years, and that's a long time, right? And we're still building some of our markets. We're still trying to draw enough guys to go to places like Thailand and Peru. And for the guys who are going to Thailand and Peru, they're having all the fun because our group sizes are a little smaller than they are in Ukraine and the Philippines. There's Thailand for you. John's interviewing one of our staff members from Thailand. Ask and you shall receive, right? We do our best. Dennis, we're probably not going to expand in other countries, although you never know. You never know. We'll see. Right now, we're definitely trying to get any of you guys off your butts, out of your chairs, and on a plane to any of the 8 countries we currently go to. All right, Edward says, where are we? Come back. There we go. Is there an opportunity to have 3 or 4 ladies from the Ukraine live during the webcast? I saw the Philippines webcast a month ago with 3 ladies live from the Philippines. It was very informative. Edward, it's not likely, and the reason is right now it's 3:41 in Ukraine, 3:41 in the morning. So it's just the timing, the time change is just not going to make it easy to do a live event, right? But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to Ukraine again. I'll get some great video. I'll interview some women for you. I'll bring that back, and you can definitely have that. And I'll also tell you this, guys. Occasionally when we do a live seminar, we can do a live Skype with one of our offices. We can't do it every time, but we can do it sometimes. So it wouldn't surprise me if we're able to do that in some of our upcoming seminars. So stay tuned. But Edward, I get you, man. I get you. I do. It's nice to have those women just out there, right? I've done a bunch of interviews with women. You can see those videos at our YouTube channel. I'll do a bunch more in my next trips to Ukraine, you can bet. When is the next seminar coming to Maryland? Sometime probably in the spring of next year, Shelton. Guys, I'm getting your questions in right now. It's great. Keep them coming. Click the green box above me and text me your questions. We're going to answer your questions for a little while you're watching some great video from our recent social singles parties around the world. Parties that we throw every month, all year long, that you can definitely participate in. Right now, we're going to look at video footage from Kherson, Ukraine. And then I'm going to jump into a topic for you for a little bit, and then we'll come back to your questions, okay? So, let's see. Tom says, do you come to New York at all? As a matter of fact, we did and we do, and we'll probably do it again next year sometime, Tom. Interested in a few women from Playa del Carmen. Would you be able to set up dates with a couple of women there? Reach out to us. In fact, reach out to our travel desk, travel@loveme.com, and ask Anna for help with that, and she can definitely help you get in touch with our folks in Playa del Carmen, my friend. Stephen says, Did any the when found their woman and got married stayed in the country as snowbirds? I think what Stephen is asking is, do any of the men get married and stay abroad? And that definitely happens. It's not a common occurrence, but it's not exactly rare either. So I think, quite frankly, if you could live in her country, wherever that is, if you meet a girl from China and you can live in China for a while, or the Philippines or Colombia, I think most of the women would be thrilled. I think they might be interested in coming to America at some point. And usually what happens is you meet the women, you fall in love, you create your courtship and your love relationship, and you know, you can't live there. You've got to work, you've got to do stuff here in most cases. So she kind of has to come here, and the women will come here. But if you could live in their country for a while, stay there, stay with them, and help them to not have to leave their families and redefine everything, I think a lot of women would be thrilled to have that opportunity, but I don't think they're counting on it. I think most of the women are expecting that they're going to come here. John says, with the guys being outnumbered so much at some of these Ukrainian socials, actually they're pretty much outnumbered everywhere we go, John, is it easy to understand a degree of competitive nature among the girls? If the roles were reversed, I know I couldn't do it. So it seems counter to their culture to see some women being more of the aggressors in these events when most Ukrainian girls prefer the men to take the lead. With your experience, would you recommend avoiding the women that use this kind of approach? Okay, so what I can tell you, John, is that the women in Ukraine, they'll be a little bit assertive. I guess they'll be assertive when it comes to getting your attention. They would like you to take the lead. But when we're in a social situation where there are several hundred women in the room and 30 or 40 men, the women will definitely take the initiative to come over and say hi, or at least walk by you and look you right in the eye and smile, give you plenty of affirmative body language. I mean, telling you, absolutely, come and say hi to me. And I think that's typical. I don't think there's anything aggressive about it. I would welcome that. And if you see somebody and she's looking at you and she's smiling, that's exactly the social environment you want to be in. I wouldn't hesitate to say hello to that person if you feel there's a good reason to do that. And at the end of the day, one of the reasons in Ukraine we have so many women, one of the reasons we give you a partner interpreter is to help you navigate who to say hi to and who maybe wouldn't be the right person for you. So you and your partner interpreter are going to get to know each other quickly. It's a 4-hour social, guys. It's a lot of time. You take 10 or 15 minutes, have a cup of coffee or whatever with your interpreter, get to know each other, and tell your interpreter you want her to help you meet the women you should meet and want to meet, and avoid the women that you don't want to meet who aren't appropriate for you. Very, very easy to do. Your interpreter will be all over that. And I don't think you'll spend a lot of time meeting women that aren't appropriate for you, John. Charles says Iceland next. I don't know, Charles. We'll see about that. Iceland might be interesting, right? That'd be kind of interesting, a Northern Lights social, right? How do you avoid a real bad date with a beautiful lady in any of the countries that you go to? Well, Mark, we're going to talk about how to have a good date with the ladies in the countries that we go to in just a moment, so I'm glad you asked that question. Don't go away. Vito, what a cool name. I want a name like that, not Vito. I like that. I have plans to go with you to Ukraine, but I've had close contact with a lady from Donetsk. Go! I heard the area is too dangerous to visit right now. Is that true? You know, I don't know if dangerous is the right word, to be honest with you, Vito. I mean, I think Donetsk is a city that's somewhat hard to get into because Donetsk is technically considered to be part of a new republic. And so I don't think you're likely to get to Donetsk. I think it's possible that she may be able to come from Donetsk to Kiev or Kharkov, maybe. If you're talking to her, I would ask her if she has any way of coming to Kiev or Kharkov or one of those cities that we'll be in to enable the two of you to meet, because you're right, I don't think it's likely that you're going to Donetsk. It's not so much the danger issue, it's just that it's closed off to tourists and visitors right now. Gary says, thanks for your support this summer. You're a true brother. Gary, you are welcome, my friend. Are you doing the February Odessa-Kiev tour? I do believe that John is doing the February Odessa-Kiev tour. That is the rumor as of now, and that will be a great tour. You shouldn't hesitate to go. A few more questions, guys, then we're going to jump into a little topic that I've got for us tonight about dating effectively with international women. All right, Shelton says, I'm already booked on a tour for Cartagena, Colombia. Looking forward to a great trip. You're going to have it. Believe me, Shelton, it's going to be awesome. What are some of the first conversation you should have with ladies, and how do you keep track of all the beautiful ladies that you meet at the socials that you'd like to go out on a date with? Second question first, Shelton, you've got an interpreter with you. You're going from table to table in Cartagena, Colombia. You'll be sitting for a certain amount of time, 10, 12, 15 minutes at each table, just talking and introducing yourself to the women at each table. And what will happen is you'll have conversation with the 4, 5, 6 women. If you find somebody you think is attractive, you talk to her a little bit, and she responds well to you, and you can feel there's some rapport, there's some chemistry going on, then you simply pull your interpreter aside and say, I would really like to date this girl in the white blouse. Could you please help me set that up? And she'll reach over and say, would you come over here for a second? And everyone will know what's going on, and everybody will be happy for the two of you, and nobody will have a problem with it. And she'll say, Shelton would like to have a date with you tonight after the social. Or Shelton would like a date with you tomorrow. What are you doing for lunch? Are you available? She'll arrange those dates for you. You'll go around from table to table to table. You'll meet a number of women. You'll get some phone numbers and some contact information. Your interpreter will help you do that. And at some point, your interpreter will just pull some women out and help you to arrange those 3 or 4 really great dates that you're going to definitely want at the end of your social. And it'll be no problem, believe me. As far as what are the first kind of conversation that you can have, one of the things that we will do on our preparation for your tour, I will talk to all the guys on a conference call who are going to Cartagena, and we'll talk about questions to ask on a first date. In fact, I will include that in the agenda for the tour. So I'll give you some great open-ended questions to ask on a first date. It's also the subject of one of our earlier webcasts, so you can go back and dig around a little bit. And if you need help with that or want to study it early, Shelton, you can just write to me, bud@loveme.com, and I'll help you out with that. But we're going to give you some questions that you can ask the girls, just topics that are typical to talk about on a first or second date that are great for conversation, because they'll encourage her to talk, and help you to keep the conversation balanced so that you're not doing all the talking, because you definitely want to do that. All right. 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll have our topic for the night. Tom says, I am contacted by largely women under 35. I'm 62, very fit, however. I think I heard you say that most women under 20 years younger are unlikely to date men over 20 years older. Could you please discuss this? Does it vary by region? So, I think that most of the women that you're going to meet, Tom. Now, again, it does vary a little bit depending on culture. If you're in the Philippines and quite possibly Thailand at the age of 62, I bet that you can meet women in their 30s. In Ukraine, that's highly unlikely. You're probably at the age of 62, and I recognize you look great for your age, and that's absolutely fabulous. That will serve you well, but you're looking at women 40 and over. And if you date women younger than 40, there's probably an excellent chance you'll be, in the very least, wasting a good amount of your time, which I don't want you to do. So it's absolutely true, guys. The women in Ukraine, I make a lot of guys mad when I say this, but it's absolutely true. And I would rather tell you now and challenge you to wrap your mind around this so you go to Ukraine and have a productive time instead of go to Ukraine for the next 10 years trying to do something that's just not going to happen. The vast majority of women in Ukraine are not going to partner with somebody who's older than their parents unless those women are in their mid-40s or older. Women who are 43, 44 and under very much want to meet somebody from their generation so that they feel compatible, and that's the deal. In my 17 years of doing this, very, very few exceptions have ever occurred to that rule. And believe me, I've met millionaires, I've met models, I've met some pretty handsome guys who didn't break that rule. It's good news, Tom. The women who are 40 and over in Ukraine, stunning, stunning women, dude. And that's no compromise. You'll love every minute of it, I promise you. Keep it real. Are there tours to Mexico? Doug asks. No, there are not. But we do have an affiliate partner in Mexico, and you can talk with her about how to go to Cancun and meet her girls. And you can get in touch with us, and we'll help you do that. All right, so let's jump into our little presentation for tonight. Let me try and do that. Bear with me for a moment. Here we go. Hold on, Kirk, just a sec. Keep the video rolling for a second here. We're going to jump into our presentation momentarily, guys. Let me get right with that. Here we go. Okay. So tonight I wanted to talk about, we're looking at these guys, at our social events, and I love watching these videos, right? Especially that wonderful video shot from behind the guy where you can see the guys engaging the women in conversation, right? And just see how all the women at the table are talking to him, looking at him, engaging him. It's really cool, right? It's not like you're having conversation with one girl and the other 4 or 5 are completely bored and not talking to you or looking at you. It's quite cool. The ultimate goal here is you're going to be asking these women out for dates. And they're going to say, sure, absolutely, I'd love a date. And you're going to make dates. You're going to leave the social events with dates. Our staff is going to work your list and come up with additional dates for you. And you're going to have dates. And it's wonderful to have dates. That's the whole reason you're doing this, because you want to go abroad, you want to meet women in a comfortable environment, have some great dates, create a romantic spark, have a second and third date, each date getting progressively longer and more romance, and you want that to culminate in the creation of a relationship that you're really excited about and happy to be in. So those first dates are really, really critical. And I think it's important to talk about best practices for first dates to ensure that you get a second date. Because guys are going to tell me, but I'm not necessarily confident in myself. For example, we just got a great question. How in the world do I strike up a conversation with these girls? What do I talk about? Guys ask me that question all the time. When I'm out on a date with these girls, what in the world do I talk about? And you're envisioning this awkward moment where you're sitting there in awkward silence and the date's not going well. So again, we'll coach you guys very well on how to ask questions and what questions to ask. Your interpreter will definitely be a great resource for you there to help you have a great lively conversation where the chemistry just builds and builds and builds and the attraction gets stronger and stronger and stronger as the date goes on. But there are a few things that you can do, definitely do. Really, as I thought about this today, I thought, no matter how much confidence you have or don't have, no matter how you look, no matter who you are or what your dating success is, if you just do a few basic things, you will impress your date every time. They're interesting, they're easy, and they're fun to do. We're going to talk about 3 first date best practices to ensure that you get a second date. Again, guys, keep in mind, we're not necessarily talking about first date best practices for dating locally, although all of these best practices will certainly work locally. Keep in context the environment that we're in, right? We're meeting international women. We're traveling abroad to meet women from Latin America or Asia or Ukraine, for example. We're meeting women in China or Thailand or Peru or Ukraine. So how do these women react to us? What are they thinking of? What are they looking at? What do they want from their dates? How do you impress them and have a good experience? So keep in mind everything we're talking about, 3 best practices for dating international women on a first date, gonna get you a second date. And I think it's healthy to remember, I like to remind guys that I think sometimes there's just this idea, this kind of unspoken idea that women from other countries are easy to date. They are, but they have no expectations, which isn't exactly true. Women definitely have some expectations. As it turns out, I know this sounds like a funny thing to say, but women from Ukraine, women from the Philippines, China, and other places, their expectations typically are pretty modest, but they do have some expectations. Every girl at some point that you're going to date created a profile on our site, and in the process of doing that, had to put some thought into, who do I want to meet? Who's my guy? Who's out there whose attention I want to draw to my profile? Who's my guy? What does he look like? What does he say? What does he do? They definitely created in their mind a rough idea, at least, as did you, right? When you came to a foreign affair, 44,000 freaking profiles on our website, you definitely had an idea of what you were looking for. The women do as well. And it's up to us to respond to what their expectations are. So what are their expectations? They want to have a nice date with a gentleman. They want to have good conversation that's not just all about you. They want you to ask questions of them. They want to talk a little bit about them and who they are, and they want you to be impressed with them. They want you to be interested in them. They want to relax. They want to smile. They want to laugh a little bit. I would tell you guys to make a girl laugh. That would be a great step. But sometimes it's hard to make a girl laugh if you're just not comfortable enough to make a girl laugh. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about all that intricate stuff. We'll get to all that stuff later on. Some of that will just flow naturally when you meet your girl and you're comfortable together. Let's just talk about 3 simple but critical things that you can do on your first date. Number 1, I'm telling you guys, have a little bit of style. For the love of God, have a little bit of style. American men typically have little to no style. It's just not something we do, or what we call American style, which is not stylish. And the reality is, if we're going to travel abroad to meet women who are themselves stylish, that's one of the things we like about them. They choose their clothing a little bit carefully. Sometimes what they're wearing to the social is clearly the best thing they have. But women definitely, if we're talking Ukraine and we're talking China, if we're talking really everywhere we go, guys, honestly, if you have a sense of style, if you have just a little bit of a sense of style, the women are going to notice that and they're going to like it. So what is comprised of style? What is style comprised of, I mean? So you can do simple things, guys, right? You can certainly read a few style blogs, subscribe to a few style blogs for men. There are all kinds of them. It's not hard. There are all kinds of pictures. Just Google men's style, men's fashion. Finding, the right scarf to wear. Finding a vest instead of a jacket to wear because a vest looks cool with your jeans and a sweatshirt or something like that. Finding the right blazer that's not big and baggy and 4 sizes too large, but is form-fitting and appropriate for you. It makes you look like James Bond, right? Finding the right shirt. Just put some thought into that. If you need resources, you can reach out to us. But if you take the time, take the time to put forth a nice image that you're comfortable with, whatever that is, you're going to love it. The girls are going to respond to it as well. I've talked about cologne and how important cologne is. You can't wear cologne don't wear cologne that's boring. Wear cologne that's exciting. Wear cologne. Again, you're probably going to spend $100 or more on your cologne, but you should, and women are going to notice it. Can't you imagine when you're meeting women at a social or you're out on a date, isn't it great to have that scent on you that she is constantly craving? Wow, what is that cologne that he's wearing? I really like that. She's leaning in so she can smell it because she likes it so much. You want exactly that. You don't want something that's going to repulse her, and cologne is a part of your style. So just very simple things, guys. I'm not talking about spending a ton of money here, but I am talking about putting some effort into your appearance. Show up for your date with a little bit of style, maybe some killer style. She will definitely notice that, like that, appreciate it. I promise you. It's important for you on your date, step number 2, you choose the date venue. You choose where you're going for your date. Women like a man to show initiative. If a woman is really stubborn about where she wants to go on a date, when you're dating internationally, when you're in Kiev, Ukraine, and the girl wants to go to a specific restaurant and she's not flexible at all, it seems. That doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, that's a little weird. Most of the time, the women want you to choose the restaurant, and they want to see what restaurant you choose. They want to see what environment you want to have a date in. Now, I will tell you that wherever you go, Medellin, Colombia, Bangkok, Thailand, God knows, so many great rooftop lounges and bars and restaurants, so many. Can you imagine the city at night on a rooftop lounge, having a drink and something nice? Can you imagine? Great restaurants in Ukraine, everywhere. There's so many nice places to go. Our staff always has a bunch of recommendations of places that are really great for dates. They're romantic, the scenery is terrific. So, for example, the picture that I have on my slide is from a restaurant in Odessa, Ukraine called Oblaka. It's called Cloud Restaurant. Why Cloud? Because it's on the 11th floor, but you'd swear you were on like the 20th floor because the view of Odessa is spectacular. It goes on forever. It's a very beautifully decorated restaurant. It's especially lovely at night. It's huge. There's plenty of room for everybody. And quite frankly, it looks like a 5-star restaurant. The food is very, very affordable there. It's a great restaurant with a great view, wonderful place to go, great place to take a date. You won't overspend. You'll definitely impress her. You will have a very, very memorable date. It's incredibly romantic. And there are lots and lots of restaurants just like that everywhere we go. In Kiev, in Kharkov, in Medellin, Colombia. There are great restaurants in Cartagena. There are everywhere we go. So just ask our staff, I need a few date options. And if you have a chance, guys, maybe take your interpreter for lunch, or you and a tour mate, go for a quick lunch. Go check the place out a little bit. Go have lunch, familiarize yourself with the menu, and get comfortable with that environment so that you can invite her to this restaurant and you're already somewhat familiar with it by the time you get there for your first date. Choose the venue, choose carefully so you don't overspend, but definitely choose something that's romantic. This is your first date. You want to leave a good impression. She says to herself on the way to her date with you. I hope he's a nice guy. I hope he looks good. I hope he smells good. I hope he's interesting. Please let this be an interesting date. And then she shows up and you look good. You got style. You're not overdoing it, but you look great. You really do. You chose the right blazer, the right jeans, the right shirt, or whatever you're wearing, the right shoes. Women definitely notice the shoes we wear, guys. And you look great. You smell terrific because you bought the right cologne that's not overpowering, but it's subtle, masculine, and she really digs it. And you're going to this really nice restaurant. Maybe she hasn't been there yet, and you know it's really romantic. I know this very romantic restaurant. I had lunch there yesterday, and I want us to go there. I bet you'll love it. Great, let's go. And then you're going. Now, you're looking good, you smell good, and now you're in this venue that's really cool. She's excited to be there. You know that you're not going to overspend, right? Yeah, man. All right. And here's number 3. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to spend a little time on number 3. If you read women's profiles, they will frequently say, I want a man who's generous. What do they mean by that? A lot of guys go, generous, what does that mean? Is this a woman who wants me to, give her a lot of money? And is that what she means by generous? Some guys hear the word generous and they attach kind of a negative connotation to it. Most of the time, when a woman says she wants to meet a man who's generous, she means a man who's not cheap. A man who doesn't mind the candy and flower stage, a man who's appropriate, a man who's going to remember important dates. But I'll tell you what, this whole idea of giving a small, unique gift on every first date is your great opportunity to do something that's not expensive, that's very unique, that shows you're romantic and thoughtful, and it will leave a really, really great impression. And I'm going to give you some great examples. Because you guys are thinking, Bud, come on, man. We're going to dinner and I have to give every first date a gift. You don't have to give every first date a gift. But I'll tell you what, if you have more dates of quality, and those first dates, you follow these 3 steps, guys. And the 3rd step is give her something that's really unique. Let me explain. You can always give flowers. Flowers are nice. Girls love to have flowers. But you might give something other than, the standard roses. I guess roses are always great. Women love them, but they're big and they're heavy and they're bulky sometimes to carry around. I'll have another idea for you in just a moment. I'm talking about very nice chocolate. You can certainly give very nice chocolate to a girl on a date. She'll appreciate that. I was shopping today and I saw this chocolate. I hope you like chocolate. It could be something really unique. I'm not talking about run-of-the-mill chocolate. I'm talking about something that's very unique and beautiful, nice, tasty kind of chocolate. There are shops, for example, all over the place in other countries, in Ukraine, for example, that make chocolate, just beautiful chocolates, guys. Just they're chocolatiers. They can box them. It's not something you're going to see in every store in Ukraine, and she'll love it, absolutely love it. So just something like that, some very nice chocolate, maybe chocolate from America. Maybe you have some kind of chocolate that's, in your hometown that's unique and tasty. You could always do that. I think a perfume sample collection, I'll show you one in a moment, is a great first gift for somebody you're really excited about. So a perfume sample collection are, if you've got a particular brand, a Marc Jacobs, for example, or something similar to that, and you've got a particular brand of perfume, you can find all over the place in airports, quite frankly, and duty free. They have them all the time. These collections of smaller bottles of perfume from one brand, all packaged together, would be a really nice gift for her. Very unique flowers. We'll talk about that. I think a gift card, a small gift card, maybe in a nice box, is a great idea. I'll give you an example of that in a moment as well. Certain kinds of cosmetics. You could go to Walgreens or Target or any place that sells basic cosmetics. You could buy several lipsticks. You could buy, lip gloss. Very basic things. Package them in a nice gift bag and give them. Girls love lipstick, right? I mean, women who love cosmetics will wear lipsticks. They love to get different kinds to try, especially if it's brand name stuff like Maybelline or Revlon, etc. Little gift bag of cosmetics. Familiarize yourself with products like Lush or Bath & Body Works, places where you can get really great smelling, unique stuff. And a few gift bags, and a few particular kinds of lotion or simple sweet perfume. Who wouldn't appreciate that, right? Interpreters are people too. Every now and then, if you want to impress the girl and you have a little gift for her interpreter, that's nice too. You don't have to do any of this, but if you do any of this, it's going to definitely get you some good results. You show up looking good. You're a gentleman. You've chosen a very nice place for a date. You listen to our staff. You've got a great venue. You're going to definitely enjoy the dinner or whatever you're doing. And then you've got a small gift at the end. I had such a great time. I really enjoyed this. I was thinking about you earlier. I brought a few things that I just wanted you to have. So here's something I wanted to give you. I brought a few things. I wanted you to have something. Here you go. Just a small, unique gift to show you that I appreciate you and I appreciate our time together. So some examples. Clinique, just an example. Clinique, very famous all over the world, right? They have a fine line of perfumes. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And you can buy samplings of 2 bottles or 3 or 4 or 5 different kinds. Go sample them. I'm telling you, go to Macy's and try them out. Go to Kohl's, try them, see what I'm talking about. They're really great. And they're not expensive. And you can just buy a couple gift sets of these Clinique perfumes and take them with you on your trip. And when you have a really great first date, offer them as a gift to somebody you really like and really want to impress. She will love them, I guarantee you. And not that expensive. If you're going to get flowers, you can give roses. Roses are nice, but sometimes roses are big and bulky and thorny, so they're a little awkward to carry around. You could keep them in your room and give a small, simple bouquet of flowers at the end of your date. Girl would appreciate that gesture, certainly. But there are seasonal flowers that are very, very beautiful as well. Here's an example. We call them lysanthes. In Ukraine, they refer to them as Chinese roses, right? And this looks like a typical bouquet of lysanthes. Very, very beautiful, probably 11 or so stems, maybe 25 or so blooms. Gorgeous. You can mix colors. They're very light. They're long. They're gorgeous. They're unique. And women love them, I'm sure. So it's a great opportunity for you to bundle up something that's simple, that's light, that's easy for her to carry. They're very beautiful. They're very noticeable. If she's carrying them around in public, she won't mind. They're absolutely gorgeous. Something unique like that. Right, here's a picture of Lush. If you guys know Lush, the Lush products are fabulous. You can go to a Lush store. They have them all over the world. They have them in Ukraine, in China. They have them in everywhere. They're all over the world. Lush is famous. You can go into a Lush store in a mall locally and just familiarize yourself with the products because they're bath bombs and homemade cosmetics and lotions and such. And they're really neat and they're unique and they're cool. And women love them. Women absolutely love them. So you get a gift bag. You buy a few items, 20 bucks. Put it in a gift bag. Great little gift to give at the end of your date. And that's, again, just an example. How about this? I thought of this. Wherever you go, there are going to be these wonderful bakeries and pastry shops. And boy, aren't they fabulous? I can think of one right now in Odessa, Ukraine that's just fabulous. But they're everywhere. They really are, all over the world. So find a really nice bakery, pastry shop, a place that serves these really delicious cakes and such, and get a gift card to one of these places, right? For 25, 30 bucks, something like that. And at the end of your date, you can give her a gift card and say, I found this beautiful pastry shop. Perhaps you've heard of this, right? Exactly. Or a chocolatier. They have such nice chocolates. I brought a little gift card for you. I'd like you to go and have some chocolate. Or have these really great, cakes and torts and such. Something like that, again, makes a really nice gift idea. Just simple things, guys. Show up with a little bit of style. Show up looking like you put some thought into your appearance and that your appearance is important to you, right? Again, it's always, for Americans, it's always baggy khakis, gigantic sneakers, and some baggy shirt that's 4 sizes too big. And that's not style at all. So find a blazer that fits you nicely, right? Get a button-down shirt and leave it untucked, leave it out, or a V-neck t-shirt, right, that looks good on you, and jeans that are nice. Not Walmart. Walmart jeans are fine, believe me, but for a date occasion, you probably want something a little bit nicer, a little bit fancier. Find jeans that fit you and look great on you, and those right shoes, right? You want some nice dressy shoes for your date. Show up looking good, a little bit of style, and just the right cologne that's very alluring for her, something she'll like and definitely want. To feel and smell. And then have your date in a venue that is going to be a fun place to go. Staff recommended it, or you've been there, you've had lunch, you took a look, staff told you where it was, you checked it out. Go to a nice venue, have a great, whatever it is you're doing, coffee and dessert, dinner, late night cocktail, in an environment that's really cool and fun and interesting for her, and then close your date out with just a simple, subtle little gift. Here you are, just something I wanted you to have, just something. She will love that. She'll absolutely love it, right? Little flowers, little cosmetics, little whatever. You've had a great date. You look good, you're interesting, you have good taste, you're not cheap, and you're generous without overspending. All of that is going to get you a second date. All of those things are what women want in a guy when they date internationally. Can you do all of that? Some of you, if you're not comfortable with the suggestions, Do your own thing, man, but I'm telling you, if you follow those 3 things, whoever you are, whatever your background is, those 3 things are going to get you a second date if you follow them, right? I hope that's useful and helpful to you guys. Questions around that, you can write to me, bud@loveme.com. All right, let's get back into your questions here. We got about 15 minutes or so, a little more than that. And I want to answer as many questions as I can. We are watching video footage from Ukraine. Watching our men and our women meet each other. All right, guys, questions. Eddie says, when contacting ladies in Ukraine to invite them to meet you at the social, how many would you say is manageable and still not bugger up meeting ladies at the social? Eddie, I would say 12, maybe 15 women per city that you're going to. And if we invite those 12 or 15 women, which we'll do, probably 2/3 of them would strongly consider coming to the social. And the rest either can't make it. There are a few girls out there who just prefer to meet men individually versus the socials, even though the socials are always packed with women who are happy to be there. So I'd say 12 to 15 per city that you're going to would be ideal. David says, hey, David, good to hear from you, man. Having been on so many wonderful AFA tours, has there ever been thought of a 21-day tour? What a great idea. David, you know, actually, the closest we get to a 21-day tour, there is a 21-day tour. It's what we call our 6-city tour in Ukraine. We have 2 3-city tours, and we package them together. I think now we're going to do a few 2-city tours that we're going to back together, so you end up with a 4-city tour. And so what happens is, in some months like April and September, July of next year, when we go to Ukraine, you'll have your choice between a 2-city tour or 2 2-city tours together, which would be a 4-city tour. We'll be doing some of that next year, definitely. 21 days in Ukraine, 21 days, any of the places that we go to is great. If you guys have extra days at the end of your tour and want to stick around, you should stick around, because if you're realistic in what you're looking for and you're a good guy with a good heart, there's an excellent chance you're going to find what you're looking for on one of our tours, which means you're going to fall in love. You're going to meet somebody. You're definitely going to feel that love beginning, and you're going to want to have time together to grow that love, to experience it, to live in it. That's why you came so far, right? David says, actually, I'm sorry, it's Scott from Chicago. I want to go on the China romance tour in November. How long does it take to get a visa? It takes 30 days to get a visa, David. $300 at mychinavisa.com. So you need to get on that, bro. And we're happy to have you. You probably want to call me up so I can help you with that. But yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great tour. By the way, just so you know, David, since you mentioned it, I think we have 5 seats left on that tour. So we've got a lot of people on our Shenzhen November tour. We've got a lot of people on our Ukraine November tour right now. And I think we're going to allow 5 more guys on that China tour, and then we're going to cap it. So that's crazy, right? It's awesome, quite honestly. So if you want to get on it, you probably need to make a reservation for the tour right away. The way you can do that is to go to our tour schedule at loveme.com. I'll show you where it is. Can we do that, Kirk? Are you in a good place for that? Very quickly. To make your reservation for any tour, go right over here, guys. The tour schedules are over here. See that? In this case, we're doing tour dates for Asia. And the Shenzhen tour is right there, November 22nd. So you can either pay for the tour, click this box, and then scroll down, fill all this information out, and pay for your tour. Or if you'd like, just to make sure you end up on the tour, you can make a $475 open tour reservation right here at the top. It's actually the default selection. That's why it's already clicked. Scroll down and fill out the rest of that information, and it'll charge you the first $475 toward that tour. In the comments box, just tell us which tour you want to go on. But yeah, you probably should jump on that pretty quickly, my friend, so we can get you on that Shenzhen Thanksgiving tour. All right. Let's see. Armani Code, great cologne. Charles, I concur. Absolutely. Good stuff. All right. Good deal. Cloud Restaurant. Okay. Great. Yep. That's the restaurant. Oblaka. It's great. Great stuff, Charles. Trust me. It's great. Sam says, what is the size of the competition for women at the website? Well, I don't know, Sam. I mean, I don't know that there's a lot of competition for the women at the website. Quite frankly, we have thousands of guys that visit our website every day, and we have thousands of guys every year that are writing to the women. I don't know that there's a lot of competition because women look at correspondence as just correspondence. I really don't think most women get overly excited about correspondence. I think that they appreciate it, they're happy to have it, but I don't think you're vying for a woman's attention through correspondence. Quite frankly, there are just so many women compared to the number of men who will ever get on a plane to go and meet them. I don't think there's a huge amount of competition, but there are some women definitely on our site that are more popular than others. They're usually the ones that are at the top of the website in what we call the banner at the top of loveme.com. I wonder if it's too much if I place my business card inside the gift bag. If you're giving a little gift to somebody, put your business card in it? Absolutely not. Totally throw your business card in there. That makes great sense. It's a great idea, Charles. I would totally do that. Why not? Absolutely. I think having a business card with your contact information is great for the socials. I think it's great if you want to, certainly do that on a date. Nothing wrong with that at all. Why not? I mean, on a date, you're likely hopefully to exchange personal contact information with the women that you're dating, definitely. And you're going to be talking to each other and contacting each other through your phones, and whatever, texting, email, etc. You're going to definitely be doing that. But by all means, give your business card if you like to do that. All right, guys, we got seminars coming up this month, next month, right up until the end of the year. And if you want an opportunity to come out, meet us, talk to us, ask your questions, by all means, get into our seminars and let's do it, right? Our seminars are informal, they're fun. Nobody's going to lock the door, not let you leave till you buy a timeshare or anything like that. They really are informal. But we will answer a ton of questions, give you some great information, throw in lunch, right? Coffee and refreshments, and they're free. I mean, it's a great seminar and it's completely free. All you got to do is make a reservation so we have a proper head count so that we don't lose anybody in our plan for seating, so everybody has a comfortable seat to participate in at the seminar, guys. You can click the green box above me to ask me any questions that you want. We're looking at China right now, guys. We're looking at social footage from one of our China social events not long ago. So come to our seminars, guys. You can see them at loveme.com. Go to loveme.com. Our seminar schedule is front and center. We just ask you to RSVP for any seminar by writing to me, bud@loveme.com, or you can call me up. The number's on the bottom of the loveme.com pages, extension 204. Just let me know you're coming so I can plan accordingly, guys, right? All right. What did you guys think of my presentation? Did you like that? What do you think of that? The gift ideas, guys, that I gave you are great ideas. Now, again, I understand if the thought process is, but I don't know that I want to have to give a gift on every first date. You may not want a second date on every first date, but I'm telling you, if you see this girl at a social and you're going out on a date, or you've been writing to her for a little bit, you really like her and you're going out on a date, and this is not a total blind date situation, I would definitely follow those 3 steps. I would definitely plan some little something. But again, I want you to give something that's unique. I want you to give something that's not typical, but fun and interesting for the girl. It will show that you're creative, spontaneous, thoughtful, fun. And it's always a nice little gesture for her. Look, a lot of the women in the places that we go to, they got nothing going on. They're not making a lot of money. They're not going anywhere. Their lives are not particularly glamorous. They're okay. They're not poor and desperate living in mud huts. It's not that bad, but they don't have a lot of romance going on either. And for somebody to give them something simple and thoughtful and interesting, it's really a treasure for them. It really is. So, make some effort there, guys. Do you provide a way for women to express interest in men? Yes, in 2 ways. When you set up a profile, Ryan, women may see your profile and reach out and respond to it. And the agencies that they work with will help them to do that, definitely. That's one way. If you are on a tour, we're going to put you in front of hundreds of them. And if they're interested in you, you definitely will know that. And there's an excellent chance at any social event that a good number of the women in the room are going to be interested in you romantically. So don't worry about that, my friend. We don't have anybody standing around with weeds growing around their feet on our tours, I promise you that. Ben says, do you know the divorce rate for your marriages? I have absolutely no idea what the divorce rate is for our marriages. But I'll tell you what, Ben, I don't hear of very many divorces. And so if you just think about it, we have hundreds of couples every year that meet each other. And year after year after year, in order for us to know, I mean, we would literally have to call everybody yearly. Hey, how's it going, you guys? Everything good? Cool, all right, talk to you next year. And we're not really going to do that. I'm absolutely sure that we have marriages that have occurred in our matrix that we're not aware of. We have couples that stop by all the time here in Phoenix to say hi and thank you. And I've never met them. I probably haven't talked to some of them, but they were on one of our trips, or somehow they met each other via our service. So that definitely happens. And as far as the rate of divorce, I really don't know what it is. I would guess that it's quite small because I don't hear of very many divorces. And when I do hear of a divorce, as salty as it sounds, and some guys get mad at me for saying it, but it's true, most of the divorces that I hear about, and there aren't many, the guy did something wrong. The guy screwed up. The girl did absolutely nothing wrong. The most important thing, Ben, is for you to ask yourself, do you want to fall in love with somebody? I mean, that's a very important question, right? Before you do anything, do you want to fall in love with somebody? And I'm talking really in love, truly in love with somebody right now or in the near future. Do you want to be in a love relationship that's good and strong and powerful and happy? Do you want that? If you want that, then you have a chance to create it by using the resources that are available to you, right? People do singles cruises. People go to singles parties, right? Why couldn't you go to one that happens to be in Europe or in China or in Thailand? Of course you could do that. Sure, you could do that. Go and meet people. Go out on dates. Have fun and watch what happens. If you just get in front of women in our program, you will find somebody that you're absolutely crazy about. Excellent chance she's also crazy about you. You will create this wonderful romance together, and you will fall in love, you and her, and you'll test that love. There will be trials and things that come up, and you'll have your little arguments, but you'll get through them. You'll work them out, and you'll be okay. You won't hurt each other in that process, and your love will grow and deepen, and you'll be stronger and stronger. And one day you'll realize, I'm completely in love. I'm happy in this relationship. She's happy. We're in love. We should do something about this because I'm here and she's there. And that will probably lead to marriage because that is the logical conclusion for people who fall deeply in love and want to be together, right? And then you go and you get married. And don't worry about the divorce rate. I mean, don't worry about it. You can focus on those things if you want, but all you really need to do is focus on you and what you're capable of in a love relationship and go find it, right, Ben? Sly says, do you think wearing a suit at a social event is a must? Absolutely not. If you like wearing a suit, that's great. If you would rather wear something casual, that's okay too. The most important thing is be comfortable in what you're wearing. But again, a little bit of style goes a long way, guys. David says, Bud, we've emailed a few times looking forward to a trip. How do Ukrainian women feel about small but noticeable disabilities? Interesting. I have a partial lazy eye that can drift. Most of the time I can control it. You know, honestly, David, I think if you're dating women who are age appropriate, I don't think most women would have a problem with that at all. And it's probably something that you're constantly aware of, but I bet it's something that most other people are not completely aware of all the time. And I haven't met you, so unfortunately I can't, say that confidently, but it's good that you brought it up, and it's good that you're asking about it, but I really do. Look, I've seen guys on tours with much more significant issues than that who get dates with very pretty women, so I have to believe that that's just a non-issue, my friend. Charles says, I placed 3 orders of the perfume in my shopping cart online. Right on, good for you. Yeah, there you go. Go to Odessa and buy it duty-free. You can do that, Charles, if you're changing. Charles is listening to my advice. Charles, you have such potential. Believe me, it's great. It really is. But what happens if you don't wear cologne when you go on a date? That's quite all right, Mark. Don't wear it. That's fine. Don't worry about it. All I'm saying is that if you choose a nice cologne and you're wearing it, there's an excellent chance she's going to like that and respond to it. But don't worry about it, bro. Vincent says, Bud, is it safe to travel to Medellin? It has a reputation for crime, drugs, prostitution, etc. I think that whole reputation is very old. We've been doing tours to Medellin. We've got great video from Medellin. I've got guys that have been to Medellin who will be happy to tell you how great it is. It's a tourist city. It's a city in another country. I would definitely, practice common sense if you go to any of the destinations that we go to, and I would practice common sense in South Phoenix. So I wouldn't recommend, getting liquored up at 3 o'clock in the morning and then stumbling back to the hotel. I wouldn't do that anywhere on earth, and I wouldn't do it in Medellin. But outside of that, guys, we do tours. If it was dangerous, we wouldn't do them. I'm not going to put myself in harm's way, and I'm certainly not going to put you in harm's way. So we travel to places that we've been going to for years. We love going to Medellin. That reputation is an old reputation. Medellin is a very different city now. It's beautiful, it's modern, it's very well traveled, it's full of tourists, and you would love that. If you need to talk to some guys that have been to Medellin, I can help you out with that, Vince, so that you go. Doug says, I'm just a regular guy with a job. Good for you. I'm not rich, but I've got, I make a decent living. Is this a good site for me? I think so, Doug. You certainly don't have to be rich in order to find somebody and find love on our site and in this process. You should be able to afford somebody in your life. And that's a question only you can answer. Can you bring somebody into your life and provide basic things? Food, shelter, health insurance, etc., right? Can you do those things so that somebody will come here and feel secure in their environment enough for the two of you to relax, be in love, be happy, and let your love and your lives grow together? And if the answer to all of that is absolutely no problem, then Doug, this is a great place for you. You should totally do it. How about it? Bud, how about a horse and carriage, then opera for style? I love it, Stephen. I really do. You can do that, right? In Ukraine, it's great, man. Go to the opera, go to the ballet, take a horse and carriage on the way. Very cool, very romantic. Love it, Stephen. Totally do that. Right on. Good stuff. Guys, every Monday night, this is what we do. We hang out, we answer your questions, we get out in front of you, we just share who we are and what we're passionate about with you. And we do that because we want you to know us and be comfortable with us. I've got guys telling me all the time that they're trolling our site and not doing anything, which is a shame, because this is a great, great opportunity for you. If you're lonely and you want to meet somebody, you'd like to start dating again, you'd like to bring somebody in your life. Maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you want to have a child or more children. Maybe you just want a partner to live with and experience life with. And absolutely you should. That's completely what you're meant for. And the truth is that in our culture, it can be very, very difficult to find an attractive single partner. But it's not difficult if you're willing to travel, because in many, many other countries, there are many, many women who are lonely just like you. They're attractive. They're trying to meet somebody. They'd welcome love in their lives again. And if you don't get on a plane and go and meet them, they might not ever find it. And that is the sobering truth about what we do. So if you get yourself on a plane and go meet some of these look how beautiful and friendly these women are. You want to meet these beautiful and friendly women, and you should. You get on a plane, talk to us about how to do it. Come to our upcoming seminar, Boston on Saturday, Montreal on Sunday, 11 to 3. The places where we're going to be doing our seminars are right front and center at loveme.com, so go check it out. RSVP to me, Bud, at loveme.com. Bud, like Buddy, B-U-D, at loveme.com. Send me an RSVP, and I'll send you the venue and the address and all that great information. And you can get out in front of John and Tanya, our CEO, and his lovely wife, some of our friends who have traveled with us, and have a great seminar, get some great information, and do something about your loneliness. There are tens of thousands of men in your city, wherever you're from, who are absolutely lonely most of the time. They have nobody. They have nobody. What are they doing about their loneliness? What are you doing about your loneliness? My whole entire point here is that you can do something about it. You can. You can solve your loneliness. You can have love in your life. You can be happy and fulfilled. And there's great value in you and the love that you have to give. Just got to work a little bit. Get on a plane and go and meet somebody. Good news is, we'll go with you. And you'll have a blast, I promise. All right. All right, guys, great questions tonight. Thank you so much. Kirk, thanks as always. You're amazing. We'll be back 1 week from tonight. We'll have another great topic for you. We'll answer more of your questions. Bud at loveme.com if you need something in the meantime. Thanks for being here. Have a good rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. We love when guys get on a plane